Good Thursday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldridge, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather, coming to you by way of the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. Interesting to note, we don't see a whole lot on the radar behind me. The ultimate Doppler radar may be void of any precipitation that's popping up off the screen, but there's a possibility that you may come in contact with a big patch of fog, maybe even some drizzle associated with the fog. But the ultimate Doppler radar presented by Tidal Wave Auto Spa, the best vacuum, the best express car wash and vacuum in East Tennessee. It's like getting 2 car washes for the price of one. TidalWaveAutospa.com, the place to go. Find a location near you, including Jefferson City. It's also into Alcoa, Newport, among many others that are expanding. Meanwhile, the visibility not so great where you see gray and white, down about a mile in Jonesville, but we can also include Hancock County. So if you're around Sneedville, maybe Rogersville, you may notice more of the fog this morning, but visibility, at least at McGee-Tyson, is at 10 miles visibility. That's the max that you'll see. Temperatures vary from the 30s to the 40s. Now, you might think about 46 in Sevierville. That's not bad, but it's 33 in Crossville. So there's a 13-degree spread from west to east in some cases. We have 41 in Jacksboro. It's currently 41 in Madisonville, and it's 39 in both Rockwood and Athens and Wartburg. So temperatures can vary, and if there's a light wind in some cases, we might add a little bit more in the way of wind chill, which we'll look at here in just a moment. But those are our current temperatures here on a Thursday. I do want to bring up a very big, important point. Now, you might think we're just 4 days away from 2024, but I think there's a bigger countdown. It's 24 hours to 48 hours before Team Snow begins to see some snowflakes. You say, what are you talking about? I'm talking about we have the potential to see some flakes in East Tennessee within the next 24 to 48 hours. It might be a short duration. It might come and go. It might be in and out of the neighborhood near you. But I want you to be prepared so that weather doesn't surprise you. As you can see, again, we're looking at the ultimate Doppler radar presented by Tidal Wave Auto Spa. Not much to see here. We expand the view. Not much in the state. So if we get some drizzle, it might occur early this morning. It may not even be on the radar yet, but the possibility is still there. Still snowing south of St. Louis. They've got quite a bit of snow between Illinois and Indiana this morning. A little bit of a mixed bag, I might say, in Wisconsin. And Kansas City getting some flakes this morning. So if they can have some flakes, why can't we participate? Can we put us in, Coach? Put me in, Coach. I want to play. Some of you are like, yeah, I want to say. By the way, if you're on the call, I want to say good morning to you. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Facebook. We're doing 2 lives at the same time because I'm not good at multitasking, but thanks to technology, I can do that. I want to say hi to you. If you have a comment on YouTube, let me know. Pop over to Facebook. I got Fred saying good morning, David. Home from Maine. Very foggy in the Northeast yesterday. Fred, thank you for that update. Glad you made it home safely after Christmas. We're glad to have you back, Fred. Fred's a common watcher on the Facebook, usually at this time of morning. But by the way, as the rain shows, maybe some heavy rain, yeah, around Boston, Connecticut, Massachusetts, they're getting some rain at this hour, but not much to see here in Tennessee. We have some flood concerns. It looks like river flooding. Those little green boxes or polygons in South Carolina, parts of North Carolina, but all is quiet. A lot of rain quiet, though, moving across Florida. Meanwhile, as we're tracking the clouds, we'll have plenty of them to start, but much like yesterday, we'll unveil the curtain. The curtain pulls back as the day wears on, and suddenly we got more sunshine. In fact, I think it'll get a little brighter, a little faster today, so my anticipation is we'll only make it into the upper 40s. Yesterday, I got some notes on my notes here, because you know I'm a note taker. We hit 56 yesterday. I was expecting 57. We hit 56. Started the morning off at 42. Now, we're pretty close to that now at 43 Knoxville now, but it's just not going to recover much, even with the sun popping out. So you're popping out. Yep. Well, I'm excited about the snow. We're less than 24 to 48 hours before we see some short, like a flurry of activity. You like that word? Flurry of activity, short duration, but we might see a little burst of snow here or there. And I want to show you that. If you stay with me long enough, you'll see what I expect to see. And I can illustrate that graphically as well. Lots of clouds here at 6:44. I want to say good morning to you. I see Wanda Poe, she's on here. Wes Johnson says, we going to get any snow at all? I love that. Wes, you're my example here. Wes is on here. He has said, are we going to get any snow at all? I love the word get versus see. You're going to see the snow. You're just not going to get the snow. I don't expect accumulation to be an issue. So when we use the words flurries, associate that with a burst of snow, but very little, if any, accumulation. If I'm using snow showers, well, that's more open to the possibility of getting it. Seeing it versus getting it is semantics, but you asked if we're going to get any. I'm telling you, you're not going to get much. There's no shovel required, what you're going to get in the next 24 to 48 hours. And I'll illustrate that further as we go further in time. Sunrise this morning, 7:45. I'll be done at the top of the hour. In fact, the sun comes up 1 hour from right now because it is 6:45 Eastern. Sun will be setting precisely now, 5:30. Believe it or not, our days are getting a little bit longer. The length of day, we're adding a few seconds each day now that we've moved past the winter solstice. So we've got a lot of clouds to start. Blue sky will come out throughout the late morning and into the afternoon. So let me get you out the door. December 28th, yes, we're 4 days away from the year 2024. We'll be in the 40s. We might actually continue to cool in Knoxville for the next couple of hours. Even at 10 a.m., you might think, it's not moving. It feels like it flatlines. Temperatures flatline through 10 a.m. But as the sun pops out, I think we'll manage a high around 48. But wait a minute, your graphic just says 47. Well, that takes you through 2, right? Our high temperature will likely come between 3:30 and 4. I expect a high of 48 in Knoxville, 50 in Newport, Tellico Plains, and only, knock on wood, Crossville, Cumberland County, only 42. So it's going to be a chilly day, but believe it or not, this is typical. Might be added, you could say, is normal for this time of year. 48, 49 is the average high for the end of December. So this is in keeping with what one might expect for late December. I know it's going to be cooler than yesterday by the tune of about 8 degrees, because yesterday we were 56. All right, going back to current readings, for those of you watching live, because many of you do, and some of you watch it on delay, we're currently at 6 a.m. at 43. It's 38 Wartburg, 37 and 09 if you're just joining me. I told you I'd talk about wind chill. How much wind is out there this morning? Just 5. That's all it takes, right? A little bit of wind. 5 miles an hour. We've got some zeros here. So if you got a 0 next to your town, like Morristown or Athens, you're not going to have a wind chill. That's kind of like a requirement for a wind chill. But it feels like it's 40. 43 feels like 40 in Knoxville, but compare and contrast that to Crossville, they feel like a 26. Ooh, that's kind of cold. For 26, the wind chill right now in Cumberland County, and 27 in Jamestown. I got some other notes coming in, and we have a temperature change right now. 6 degrees colder in Knoxville as compared to yesterday. Good morning to you. I know it is Thursday. We're almost to the short, I guess it was the short holiday week, because we got New Year's Eve coming up. And I'm going to give you the ball drop temperature. Ooh, the ball dropped. You didn't hear about that? I'm going to talk about that too. And the Vols forecast, because it's all about citrus, don't you know? By the way, Linda Rice says, good morning, have a great day. Linda, glad to have you here. Audrey says, good morning from Maryville. Glad to have Audrey here. And we've got Kelly says, how much snow for Crossville, Tennessee we'll get. Same situation. Little frisky flakes, frosted flakes. Oh, little short duration. And then, did you get, well, how much actually stuck? Well, nothing, but when it came down, it was aggressive. That's what I expect for you, Kelly, in Crossville. Get some little frisky snow showers, perhaps for the plateau, but I don't expect you're going to get much in the end, because you'll say, it's gone just as quickly as it came in. It was just an appetizer. That's what you're going to get later in the next 24 to 48 hours. Speaking of 24 hours, temperature change, it is 7 degrees colder in La Follette and Morristown this time versus yesterday morning at 6 a.m. Current readings were 10 degrees colder in Nashville. They're at 33 right now, 43 Knoxville, and it's 30 degrees in Jackson, Tennessee, 39 Jackson, Kentucky, a 9-degree spread there. All right, so we're going to go 3, 2, 1. What do I expect? I expect a lot of clouds, what I expect. If you're in the Valley, Knoxville, the ball drop temperature should be around 40. Now, if you're in Crossville, you're talking mid to upper 30s. And again, I keep in mind that you're in Central Time, so really it's 1 o'clock our time for you, midnight for you. You get the difference. But anyway, 40 degrees will be, I expect, the temperature around Knoxville, the Valley, Oak Ridge, Morristown, Sevierville, around the upper 30s to near 40. So it won't be too harsh compared to where it will be in the 20s as we start the mornings next week. So Tuesday morning, around 27, and Wednesday morning next week, about 26. So I'd say 40 at midnight really isn't all that bad. But Happy New Year to you as the ball drops. We have no control over that. The calendar will start anew, and we'll start a whole new year in just a few short days. By the way, the big game in Orlando. This is an Orlando game. This is orange, but it's not Neyland. No, this is down in Orlando. I believe it's the Cheez-It. Isn't they like that? The Cheez-It, it's the sponsor. Citrus Bowl. It's like orange on orange. It's just a perfect setting, I suppose. But 1 o'clock, the game, and you can watch it apparently on ABC. But hashtag Go Big Orange. And again, Iowa may not be the most familiar foe, but they've got 10-3 record this year. We're 8-4. I've modified us into the upper 60s. They may nudge 70, but they're not going to be spending the day in the 70s. Plan on the 60s if you're driving down to Central Florida for the game. Headlines, clouds to hazy sun. I can't rule out some fog. We talked about a little bit of that at the top of this live stream. And also maybe some drizzle that may appear before, say, 10, 11 o'clock. But drops and flakes possible on Friday. More drops for the valley, more flakes for the higher hills. It's not rocket science. It's colder up there. So, oh, but you're just trying to split the difference. Exactly, because that's what it is. Temperature's right on the cusp. They're right on the edge, so you can get a little bit of both. And then you might say, well, it started as a flake, but then when it hit my windshield, well, it didn't amount to much. That's what I'm thinking that you're going to see. And hopefully you'll be ready for that. If you're on YouTube, I'm still looking for my first comment over here. Oh, I still don't have one. You can be the first. Be the first to leave me a comment on YouTube. I'll give you a shout out. Facebook, pop over here. A couple of new comments that might be coming in on here. Danny. Oh, yes, Danny's my Go Big Balls. Hashtag GBO. He says, good morning, David. Hope you had a wonderful day. Go Vols. Marilyn Bell says, happy Thursday. Bring on the snow. And Wanda Poe says, be happy time. When she says she can get 6 inches of snow, she's waiting for like the heart of winter, maybe. She's just waiting. She's just patiently waiting. And I applaud Wanda, who is on Team Snow. By the way, here's the cold air. Now, this might shock you if you're concerned about your heating, your apparatus, your furnace, whatever. You know your heating costs typically rise in this time of year. And you might say, well, when can I plan on it really getting cold? Well, let's take a look. Here's where the cold air that's been in Nebraska and South Dakota, because they had a blizzard. If you remember, a couple of days ago, they have over a foot of snow on the ground in many parts of South Dakota and Nebraska. Now, I'm not expecting that type of snow, but the cold air spins into Knoxville right in time for the 29th. So this is why, aloft at least, because this is 5,000-foot temperatures where we need to have the cold air, for it to snow, it kind of spins into Knoxville, kind of cold there, maybe a pullback right before the new year, because I expect low 50s for Sunday. But then it gets a lot colder, if not by the 2nd. Let's go see. Let's just move the calendar right into the middle part of January. Do you think we could? It looks mild there, but then all of a sudden, by the time we hit about the 11th, the 12th, and oh yes, there's the 13th. Isn't that magical? Because that purple could mean single-digit wind chills and teens and 20s. Oh, you didn't just say that. I did. And so if you plan accordingly, one of the benefits of joining Captain Accurate Premium is we go through this day by day. We're already at the end of January with our prognostications and expectations. But I can tell you this, if this happens to even be remotely close, the cold air that's in Minneapolis, Chicago, Omaha, and St. Louis will work its way down here by mid-January. And there will be increasingly more opportunities for snow. And you're going to be wanting to know, how much am I going to get? How much am I going to see? How much am I going to get? How much am I going to see? See what I see get? Well, you're going to want all of that information. That's why it's important to grab the Captain Accurate Weather app. And in fact, make sure you have the app, which is free, but the premium service just $4.99 a month. That's probably the best investment versus a cup of coffee that you could have all of January is to join us at CaptainAccurate.com. Now, the future snowfall I don't put much stock into this far out when you start talking about snowfall amounts, but you'll notice everybody looks like a 0.1. You can't measure 0.1. Look how it looks. The whole area looks like they get peppered with some flurries, because that's all it is. It's a flurry of activity right through the end of the year. So if you say, oh, I didn't get anything, well, I didn't expect much. I expect it to precipitate, but I don't expect the shovel will not be needed. If you got a new shovel for snow this winter for Christmas, you won't need it through the end of this year. However, January, completely different story. You may in fact need it. As we head into the new year, there could be more activity. As you can see, it populates. And again, this is just model data. It changes every couple of hours, as my premium members know. But there's potential that we could see more snow in your future and mine going into the new year. So be prepared. And you're not going to have any confidence until within 3 days. So 3 days, because everything can shift, right? Temperature can move, the fronts can slide, the warm fronts can move up, speed up, slow down. All of that's going to play a role in what you see versus what your neighbor gets this coming winter. Right now it's 43 degrees at the airport, McGee-Tyson. We have a west wind at 6, feels like 40. I believe it feels like 40 now. And we have, again, 6:54, so I'm going to be done in less than 6 minutes. Valley Planner, normal high I mentioned in the upper 40s. Will be about 48 today. Some early drizzle and fog, clouds with hazy sun. That's what I expect to see over here. Oh, I got my first notes. Thank you so much. Got a couple of notes here. Marilyn Bell says, happy Thursday, bring on the snow. Felicia's Crafty Adventures. She was the first to pull the trigger. She wrote happy Thursday here on YouTube. Thank you, ladies, Felicia and Marilyn, for leaving me a note. And if you're watching me on the big screen via your YouTube or maybe the Fire Stick on your screen, love it, the fact you can watch this not just on your phone, but on the bigger screen. But thankful for all of you. Let's go ahead and take a look again. Valley Planner. We're starting off in the 30s. We're just not, even with the sun popping out, don't expect much higher than upper 40s. About 48 in the shade for a high temperature today. And chance of precipitation I have at 30% tomorrow. You could argue there's at least a 20% chance that you get some flurries on Saturday, and we can revisit that. But I think there's more drops and flakes on Monday, the 1st of the new year. Storm Prediction Center, just for clarity, there are no spots of concern today for severe weather. There may be, if you look to the bottom right, looks like Key West and maybe Miami might have a few general thunderstorms, but that would be about it for the lower 48. There's just nothing severe associated with what's going on in the next 24 hours from our friends at the Storm Prediction Center. Doesn't look much different on Friday, except it's clear all across the country for severe weather risk, just not there, and neither is Saturday. So we're kind of in that pattern where there's not a whole lot of temperature contrast. It's either cold or it's warm. It's not both. And we're not going to probably see much in the way of severe weather in the short term. But this is the map I think you're going to love. If you're on Team Snow, gather around the phone and the TV screen on YouTube. Because at 11 a.m. this morning, there might be some drizzle. Look at some green drops around Jonesville, maybe Sneeville, Hawkins County, Rogersville might get some drizzle. They've got some fog and maybe a flake around Monticello at 11 o'clock this morning. But that spins away. Not a whole lot to see here. But then it gets interesting. As we move into tonight, clouds will increase. Then there's the spin. Oh, the spin. Tomorrow morning, around 9:15, you can see some flakes. Not a whole lot. And that maybe just builds up to a little bit of green on my screen. Looks like it's changed over to raindrops. Like I said, doesn't amount to much. But you might have a few sightings on Friday. And then even so on Saturday, because this front's going to kickstart this snow shower, maybe for Kelly and Crossville, maybe for La Follette, maybe Dawn Rumsey, who's watching. She might notice some snowflakes up in Campbell County by 5:30 Saturday morning. And then it kind of lingers. Maybe it skips a beat, Knoxville, but there's bound to be some flurries somewhere. And then it turns to rain again. Oh, yeah. So you've got some flurries that are wet. Wet snow flurries, not accumulating type of snow. Again, when the models say 0.1, you pull out a ruler and you measure me with 0.1 inches. No, you're not going to do it. It's just indicative of flurries, and that's all I'm going to drive home. Just from flurries out of this. This is not a big deal. Change to rain, and even if it did stick on your car rooftop, it will have disappeared rather rapidly, I must say. Now, Smokies are different. They're higher elevations. They could pick up a ½ inch to an inch or more, but other than that, it looks like it's pretty quiet across the board. And then Sunday, I have us warming up before it gets colder. So our futurecast looks like this here at 6:58. I'm going to be done here at 7 o'clock. Notice the clouds are breaking. If not by 9:30, they show signs of breaking up, especially before noontime in a neighborhood near you. Temperature about 44 at lunch time. 3:30, we hit our high temperature around 48 in the heart of the valley. A lot cooler for the plateau. And then we move into tonight. Clouds slowly begin to increase, and that's when we may see some interesting flakes potentially, or drops. Got a 30% chance. This model hardly sees anything at all. I do see some snow in Cumberland County. Looks like 3:30 Friday from this model. But again, this is just guidance. It's not absolute gospel. It may develop in places that you least expect it. Looks like a drop there just north of La Follette, and a snowflake in Crossville 5 o'clock Friday. Lots of clouds, though, on Friday. And then it's just hit or miss, maybe a little mixed bag. There's Saturday morning where somebody's like, oh, I saw some snowflakes. They're out there. You just have to get out of your house and look. That's what some of you might think. Anyway, early drizzle fog this morning, clouds to hazy sun. 6:59, high of 48. 48 for Morristown, Talbot, White Pine. 50 for Newport is what I expect today. 50 for Tellico Plains, Madisonville, and 41 for Jamestown later this afternoon. Today, a high about 48 Chattanooga. If you're traveling, they'll be closer to 60 in Charlotte and should eclipse 60 degrees, 61 there, in Augusta, Georgia, later today. So tonight we're down to 32 with increasing clouds. It's colder, cold enough to see your breath. I think that's a possibility. And then we're down to 29 for Wartburg, Morgan County. Shout out to, say, Scott County, Oneida 29, and about 31 in Cocke County and Newport, where Wandapo is located. So looking ahead to the Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast as we round out 2023 and say hello to 2024. Both Friday and Saturday we'll be lucky to get to 43. Most of the day spent in the 30s. But then you get a little strange warm-up for just one day with mostly sunny skies developing on Sunday at 52. And then we're colder again with drops flakes on Monday, Tuesday mostly sunny, and our lows are in the 20s. So it's going to ebb and flow, but I can tell you from the long range, it looks like it's more hopeful than it was last year. Because remember, last year we were super cold. We got down to 4 degrees last December leading up to Christmas. We didn't get to that. We didn't get to the single digits this year. But then the winter kind of petered out, right? This is going to probably be the opposite. We had a warm December, going to get some bitter cold air going into January and beyond. So that's something I see anyway in the offering. By the way, good morning to you. I want to say hello to Brenda Hatchard Langford. She says, good morning from Morristown. I'm just fine with the warmer temperatures and the sunshine. Thank you, Brenda, for that. I appreciate your comment. And Angela says, I want a blizzard in Maryville. Do they have a Dairy Queen? I'm just kidding you. I'm just kidding you. Anyway, she wants a blizzard. Anyway, in Maryville. We'll have to wait and see that on that, Angela. And Danny saying good morning. Go Vols, excited about the big game. The Citrus Bowl. And, of course, I believe Nico is going to be playing. So there's going to be a lot of reasons to be watching the big game on January 1st. So very excited about that. Well, my name is David Alder. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate, so we'll see you here next time. Take care.